Hello, hello, hello. Okay, this is Miguel from the Embargo Man channel. I could tell you one thing out of all. Okay? Please comment and subscribe. Please subscribe to the Embargo Man channel. Hit the bell button. I am going to talk about this subject that I know people are going to get a fuss about. The main thing we're going to talk about: asshole managers are everywhere, right? You see it in every single supermarket store, every department store, where you find in every single store that you're gonna go, there is an asshole manager somewhere in the world, and most likely in America too, in the US of A, right? So this is most likely, it could happen to anybody, all right? Put the worst case scenario of all this at a Sédano's supermarket. This is a supermarket made exclusively for the Spanish speaking community in South Florida, right? Sédano supermarket, right? So they have a bunch of supermarkets in parts of Florida, especially South Florida is where this centralized, right? So most likely I went um to the 6430 Northwest and 186th Street, right here in Miami, Florida. The zip code is 33015, right? So what happened in this incident that is coming by, right? There is this man, little chubby, having a little mustache or something like that. It's not like in the title what it says when you click in there about asshole managers that are everywhere. It has been for a long time that I have never had a damn problem with there, right? So what have happened the day that I bought some light bulbs, and I was looking for some light bulbs. There were some. I was trying to buy a little shot of Cuban coffee, right? It's an espresso with lots of sugar. Put it that way. It's like a Florida thing, South Florida thing, right? So I was about to purchase the coffee, but nah. Somebody offered me, and he bought a cup of the large Cuban coffee, the one that you share. So the manager, he is such a fool. He is an asshole. That manager was such an asshole that he says, "Oh, you can't drink coffee or whatever. I have to drink the damn coffee outside." Well, I noticed it without even happening of all this. I went to the Navarro. Navarro is owned by CVS. It's a pharmacy store, you know, right? Spanish speaking community, right? And bought some light bulbs, right? All right, brand name light bulbs, right? So I got these light bulbs, GE light bulbs. This is like just one light bulb from the great value brand, because the light bulbs are going, they're dying, right? All of them are LED now. And I'm wondering, the second time of this incident, this is where I took public to another video. I mean, breakups, and then asshole managers and all that stuff. And I did one in Spanish. I put it on TikTok and everything like that. And I had advised people not to go to that 8640 Northwest 186th Street Sédanos, right? So why? Because the manager is a jerk. He's an asshole, right? So that would be the day that have happened in all. I literally, I wanted to go in line to pay for the milk. right? Just to buy milk. Just to buy milk, right? So this manager, the same asshole manager, right, came in there and says, look, don't come to the store anymore, right? You know what? I have to give up the milk, and what else I could do? I went to the Publix across the street from the Sédanos, all right? The Publix supermarket, even though I paid $5 for the milk, yes, just the milk, and the people in Publix were really cool. I congratulate Publix for being awesome with me and with their customers. Sédanos, on the other hand, that one that I'm talking about, the manager sucks. And after I walk from the park and all that stuff, I noticed something. And this is also to a particular YouTuber. I'm rereading her book. Just put yourself in my shoes, all right? And there's a school crossing officer told me that that she knows some of the employees that work of this Donald's and 8460 Northwest 186, that they treat the employees, the people that work, his employees, like trash. The same asshole manager to tell me to don't come and buy milk anymore said so proof. Treat their employees like trash. This is one thing. Just put in yourself to a wonderful YouTuber, a wonderful woman who has been in the same time period doing YouTube and have more subscribers. I even very subscribed. I'm really subscribed to you for a long time. You know, whatever it is, put yourself in my shoes. You go to a store, right? You buy things. So it happened to me because after all, the guy says I bought some beer or anything like that, you know, or whatever. I'm over 21. I could buy beer. All right, so no fuss about this, but just put yourself in my shoes. You go into some store. You go into a store located in Pennsylvania. You live in the state of Pennsylvania or being raised in the state of Pennsylvania, right? So the same thing it says, oh, I'm not gonna let that asshole into the store. That's me. He's the asshole, but he calls me an asshole in his own mind, right? So you go to the store, whatever store it is, just imagine some store if you're in Pennsylvania, right? In some town in Pennsylvania. I just imagine it could be one of the big towns, maybe your hometown or something like that, right? You go in there, you buy in the store. In front of you, there is some asshole manager. You're gonna buy an item, probably Nike sneakers or whatever item it is, right? The manager says, oh, you cannot come in the store. And all of a sudden, you don't notice, oh, but you are not welcome to the store. Are you going to shop in Pennsylvania, in the state of Pennsylvania, right? So what would happen in that store? The guy told you cannot come to the store, ma'am, because I saw you across the street. I saw you sell your body. What was this man talking about? The manager of that store, located in Pennsylvania, told you that you are a hooker, right? That you are a hooker. That they saw you selling your body. And you know what this manager thinks? You know what? I knew this blonde bimbo come to the store and want to buy stuff. I'm not gonna let that blonde bimbo in. And then they make up story and they tell you not to come to his store, the manager of this particular store, because he said that he saw you selling your body, and then some customers, and there's some guys going to pay you know what, being treated like a hooker, right? Just imagine. The guy said, I'm not gonna send that blonde bimbo in. I'm gonna just be," and he make up some and he make up some BS stories that he said that he found you selling your body for what? Nonsense. The same thing I go in my incidents. The first what comes with beer. So they saw me say it's buying beer, right? That's nonsense. But then the guy told me, "Oh, you know what? You have been." They telling to me, and then this is what if I go for the third time? It happened to me twice, but if I go for the third time, and that's Donald's over there, and it says, "Oh, I saw," talking to me, "I saw you going on snatching those M&Ms and you put them in your pocket. You stole those M&Ms. The reason I'm not gonna let you in the store because you stole M&Ms and put it. Oh, I stole M&Ms and put them in my pocket." Right? M&M incident. The same thing happens, but yes, you put yourself right there. And there's a story that I read about you. All right, talking to the blonde woman. I know her name, and we all know. They help us reduce paper waste in bills. Thank you for the 300-page bill that you have made. And what else I could call the incident with Mr. Timex, right? At his chiropractor office. Mr. Timex, like he called himself Mr. Rolex for some reason. Oh yeah, right, Mr. Rolex. A Rolex costs like $1,000 or something like that. A Timex is a cheap watch that costs less than $100, like a $40 watch or something like that. Yeah. Mr. Timex. He freaking thinks he's Rolex or something like that. Just Mr. Timex right there in his chiropractor office. And I noticed about Mr. Timex, aka he called himself Mr. Rolex or something, treats this woman disrespectfully. And I seen this story about, put it this way, what I can remember. Let me interpretate this. Okay, I'm Mr. Roller, or I don't. Let's fire this blonde bimbo, whatever. I understand. I read that through your story about Mr. Timex. Yeah, Mr. Timex is another asshole manager in a chiropractor office in Pennsylvania, right? Just that. You have seen yourself putting yourself at a store in Pennsylvania, calling that you cannot go to the store because the guys saw you selling your body, and they make that kind of nonsense, right? You got fired from the chiropractor office, so the so-called Mr. Timex, aka calling himself Mr. Rolex, that you're fired or kicked out of the job. All right, that's the experience of people confronting asshole managers. And that's true. We confront asshole managers every single day. And the fact about asshole managers are everywhere. You confront them, you see them, and I'm saying, oh, geez, I mean, for a matter of fact, my mom has to face with an asshole manager at a Pizza Hut, right? Or got fired for no reason, or anybody could get fired. Like some kind some. Let me make this fictional story. The thing about a real life YouTuber that have more subscribers than me entering a store in Pennsylvania, and this guy says, "Oh, we not gonna let this blonde bimbo," and then it says you confront him. Oh, you know what? We don't want you in the store because because I saw you selling your body, or that asshole named Mr. Timex because he called himself Rolex. All right, Rolex costs more than a Timex. Timex is cheap, right? So he says, "Oh, you know what? Let's fire this bimbo." That's it, and you got fired from the chiropractor office. I read that story. Kind of mean for Mr. Timex, right? But put it this way, this fictional time. It's a fictional guy, right? This guy named Tony, he goes to the store, and he always goes to the store for years and years and years and years. Tony somewhere around there, maybe he is in Chicago or something like that. Everybody says Tony. Hey, what's up, Tony? Hello. But just the manager, out of no reason, they says, you know what? You're not welcome anymore, Tony. I saw you smoking weed. Tony wasn't smoking weed. Just the manager is being such an asshole that he makes believe a story that they saw Tony smoking weed or selling weed or whatever. I mean, that's just a made up story that if happened to me with that I can't buy milk or whatever. And you know what? For the meaning of all this, it happens. It doesn't matter where you live. All right? If you guy lives in Florida or you're coming to Miami, Florida, 8640 Northwest 186 Sédano Supermarket, at all costs, never go to that supermarket. Why? How this manager has treated me like twice. I have never stepped foot in that supermarket since that day the guy don't let me buy a gallon of milk, right? So if that happens, please, I warn you, don't go to that supermarket, even if you live here in Miami, Florida. Suggestion is, doesn't matter where you live. If you go to talk to corporate and make some videos about your experience with an asshole with an asshole manager. You could write to Sédanos. You could write to Walmart. You could write to Target. Doesn't matter. Even if it's even if it's Kroger or something, wherever it is, right? So you saw something, and I remember Teeters or something like that, or whatever it is. I mean, I know about. Okay, so you see an asshole manager. Then they say that they found you smoking weed, that they find you that you're gonna sell your body if you're a woman, if they find you you too much drinking or whatever, and all suddenly, you know what? Don't go to the store and tell your friends, tell your family, look what this manager, who is such an asshole, that I cannot go to the store. I cannot recommend you to look how I got bad treatment because of an asshole manager. Doesn't matter if it's in a Walmart, doesn't matter if it's in a Target, doesn't matter if it's in a grocery store from a big company or even a small time grocery store. If there's an asshole manager, make a video, do something, get your experience what is going on with an asshole manager and tell them don't come to that store. Doesn't matter if it's in Chicago, Illinois, doesn't matter if it's in Pennsylvania, doesn't matter if it's in New York, New Jersey, Florida, Georgia, whatever state you are. Or in another country, that if it rarely happens, it rarely happens. Just follow what Don King says. Only in America this kind of stupidness happens. All right, so it's kind of rare that it might happen in Japan, it might happen in Canada, it might happen, but after all, it only happens in America. That's it. Rude managers, they make things up, and because of BS reasons that says don't come because you smoke weed, because you smoke crack, because you drink too much, because you sell your body, whatever the reason is, tell your friends there's an asshole manager in the store. They blame me for selling my body. They blame me for smoking weed or whatever. Tell them don't go to the store. That's the manager in that store is an asshole. And then you could write to corporate, you can make a video, and you could complain all you want. So that's it. So people, everybody else, I could say, please subscribe to the Embargo Man channel. Comment and subscribe. And thank you all. And for all the reasons why, see you in the next video on Embargo Man. And what else too? I'm going to end up this video about a YouTuber that is awesome with my only finale if I had a cartoon life. That's all, folks.